All right, we're going to take a walk through this. And this is an overhead view. As we go around, you're going to notice that terrain drops off fairly steep on the backside, but that's some of the weakness of the modeling program is it's difficult to work with terrain, and I could spend the time to work out all these little bumps and things in the terrain, or I can spend it doing framing and the things to get us our working drawings we need. So I'm going to focus there first, and we can come back to this if we need to. So this is the east view, and this is pretty close to directly east. And site plan will show the north arrow so we get orientation correct, and then I'll get information to whoever's gonna stake out the house. So what I've got is I've got a lower plate here over the dining room with this small roof to open up so that we could operate the window. This is a casement window on this side. A lot of these doubles have got an operating casement to them. This has an operating casement on each side of the picture window. And then I'm gonna need to put a beam across here and one across here to pick up the rafters to go along with this ridge beam that I have up here. So I don't have that quite wrapped up yet, but that's how it will play out. I can't tell you why those came in. Oh, I had it do automatic framing, and so it tries to. I should be done with automatic framing because I started doing manual framing, and so you'll see that come into play. So hopefully you won't see that reappear in here anymore. But let's keep on going around the outside. So this is the main garage, and then this is his shop. So this will taper down more gently when we actually finish it out, and this would all taper down more gently. But to get the footings to build correctly, I've raised the terrain up, and then we're at a natural grade at this side of the house. So that's why we've chosen this elevation, and to create the fill under the garage with the excavation from the basement was the key point to where we located the house and how we positioned it. And so here we've got garages facing each other. There's two man doors, and then a small walkway with a full width walk up into a porch here, and then on into the house. So the stone here, we're looking at probably either a natural true stone veneer that is just a thin veneer, or they have discussed possibly going with panels. And I can see I've got a material issue there. Fix that real quick while I'm noticing it. And then we'll go on into the house. And then here in the foyer, if we look up, we've got a light for a chandelier for the vaulted wood ceiling, which is wood that matches the flooring. And I ran it sideways, and they like that. So just kind of planned that out, that we're looking to use the same wood both for the ceiling and the floor. And then this is painted in here, and we've done a lot of discussion on what's painted and what's not. So these are wood windows with the aluminum exterior, aluminum casing on the exterior, or not casing, but aluminum frames. And then in here we have a handicap shower. And this is for the father, and there is a walk-in closet. It's a smaller walk-in closet. And then these are a zero clearance hinge door that fold all the way back. The only thing I have in the model that's close to that is a bifold. So I just open it all the way to kind of give it that look as a zero hinge door. And then this is a pocket door here in this location. And then we have a small upper vanity, and that actually looks like it's too small. And so, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Clicked on that with the tool still on for copying. So I'm sure we'll take this up to the ceiling and then put in a upper cabinet so it's not a giant door. This is just furniture in here. And then both of these are casement windows. I think these are 6830 it's a Craftsman style Simpson door, and this was Therma-Tru, and I think this might be the 6830. Looking at like a wrought iron, and I don't know why this changed. That shouldn't have changed, but these top and bottom rails are matching the wood of the baluster, and so I don't know why that changed, but it should have been that way. So they're wrought iron, just a simple twist for the pickets. We've got wood windows in the living room. They'll discuss with you how we did quite a bit of work on this to get this with some arches that go along with the eyebrow arch that we have on this side over here. And then we've done a lot of work on getting the kitchen laid out the way that she wanted it. Some of the things that should be understood is how these drawers work. So this is a false drawer at this end, but as soon as it gets to the depth where the cabinet takes on, where the chairs fit in, then that portion, that half of the drawer, would be functional. And so when the cabinet people design or build those, that should be taken into account. And then the drawer depth and count is as designed. Here we have a trash compactor, and there will be two switches here, one for the lights above and one for the garbage disposal. Then we have a convection oven, microwave. This is a glass piece here, and we want to have lights inside there. And then the same over here, there's a glass panels on those two doors with lights inside. Underneath here, we're going to use puck lighting. It does show a rope light too. That was an optional deal, but she has decided to go with pucks. And so there should be a puck under here, but it doesn't look, oh no, it's it there. So, and then this piece here. So this will have the upper portion open separate from the lower. So when I select this piece, I'm going to open it, and it's going to open the top too. But what it is the access into the pantry. So it's just a hidden pantry. And so when we come in here, we've got window, just some shelving. She does want to have some outlets along here for coffee maker or whatever she'd like to do. And then we've got, actually not shown in the model yet, but we'll have canned lighting in there and well lit inside there. I believe there's 7 lights in that area. This is one of the areas that I have to work with them, in that I may lower the ceiling to cover this beam and then bring it out to define the dining room and have the ceiling height transition through here. So I might have to move this light, and then this would lower down. But this beam, when we get into the framing, I'll show you why that has to be the way it is. And then come through there's crown molding throughout this whole room. And we may pull this forward and have it go run straight across. Haven't gotten final word on how they wish to design this out. All I did was put some block stuff in here for now, just kind of as a placeholder. But we're going to design this to get it suitable for what they'd like. And then we have a small powder room in here. There'll be a sink in there. And then there'll be fan light up above. In here, there is enough space for a really tiny little computer room. And there's a little niche in the back here. And please check the AutoCAD plans for where all the outlets and stuff go. And then in here, we don't have colors chosen yet, but we are looking at a cabinet on top with a coat closet here, door into the garage, a laundry sink, upper vanity, this light, I don't know why that's there. I'll get rid of it. Washer, dryer, and then a full height cabinet at this end. And we do have crown molding in here. And then on and through, we have got the garage. And this has got a jack shaft opener for the garage instead of a ceiling mounted garage door opener. Obviously, we'll have to work on light planning now that I've got the tracks in here. I'm going to have to relocate the light so that they don't interfere. So a lot of this stuff is, don't worry about those. This is just an ability for me to grab the belly trim if I have to make any changes. So it's protruding into the garage, but it's actually just the belly band on the outside of the building. The cabinets they own, the tool chests they own, and these walls probably just be white. I did show them with the texture and the paint, but I don't think they're going to do anything but more of a simple wall like you see here in the garage. So come through the garage, back on out, come around, and let's go into the master. And in the master we have got another wood finished window. We've got crown all the way around the ceiling. There's a small closet over here, and it's a shallow closet. You can see that on the, oh, didn't mean to do that. I meant to hit this button. And so just a shallow closet there. And then come around and into the master bath. I have a little bit of work on the model to do here, but it's looking pretty good now. We have got clear lighted glass paneled boxes. They want to have all shaker here. We are looking at 3 mirrors, and she wants to do backlit mirrors, so we'll have to discuss what type you're going to find. The ones that I've used here have got the lighting that's actually in the mirror itself instead of kind of protruding out from behind. And then we've got some trim here to make these look like they're real elaborate panels, but it's just real simple trim. This door here is a full down garage type door so that she can get to her hair dryer, and there will be outlets at the back of that. Then we have drawers here, cabinets above and cabinet below, drawers on this side, a false drawer there, drawers here, cabinet, false drawer with doors below and drawers for him. This again is a fold down with also electrical for him at the back. He does have an outlet here for his side. And I don't think we're doing any backlighting on his mirror, and he'll just have the sconce. Now I placed the sconce quite a bit above the mirror on this side and then a little lower on this side so that you can discuss with her how to do that. And then they need electrical in this cabinet, so that this mirror that mounts to the cabinet can be lit for her makeup mirror. Then we come through this door and into their walk-in closet, and it is pretty much just a closet. We are looking at I'm going to move this jewelry cabinet to the other end of the room because we want to put a built-in ironing board in the wall there, and you can see that on the AutoCAD plans. There are windows in here, so these are paint grade finish on these windows, and then there's a small wall here so that we can get the shelves to be supported at this end. We'll have to use brackets to hold them up, or possibly decorative corbels depending on budget. This light here, the switch is inside of the closet. Did discuss within the option of putting on a door switch so that it's a ball switch, so when the door is closed the light turns off automatically. They want to have under cabinet kick lighting that's motion sensitive, so when she walks in the room in the middle of the night that it'll kick that light on. And then we have the walk-in shower on this side, and it's got a dropped ceiling in it to keep it warmer so that it's not too high, and it'll keep the area warmer. This is a glass panel, so it's all enclosed when the door is shut. And then in here is a toilet room, and there will be a bidet. So there's an outlet to be placed on the back wall of this build out for her to decorate on top of, and then a casement window in the room. So then we'll come on through, back on out, and we'll go on downstairs. So as we come down, looks like my wall finish is not showed up, but hopefully that won't ride over the door. Good, it fixed fine. I'll make sure that's built properly. But got a fireplace here, and they really like the way this fireplace turned out. One thing is they're going to do their own cabinetry down here, so this is just here to show the layout so that we get the electrical in for the TV and stuff that we need. But they're going to do with their own cabinetry, and a lot of the finishes down here. On this portion of the stairs, they want to have the doors actually profile with the stair itself, so I've got to make that change. But I wanted to get this video out and produced because I'm kind of running a little bit behind on that. Looks like this wall needs to be carried all the way through. So it's showing you the ICF insulated concrete forms that are used on this basement all the way around. And then over here, we've got just a regular closet, come with shelf and rod, of course. We're looking at 9-foot ceilings down here. So the stair count is to be adequate. And then we've got a shower, walk-in shower, sink for the vanity. And we recently made a change to switch the tub and the shower from one side to the other. So I may have them backwards, but the count remains the same. So this is the tub. Yeah, I think they are backwards because I believe this is the second choice for the father is to be able to use this room. And so here's another walk-in closet. And then they wanted to have the walk-in shower with grab bars and stuff down here. So I think we're going to put the tub on the other side. So consider it the other way around, but the count remains the same as far as number of fixtures. And then we come on down into an exercise room. There is a closet in here, so if they wanted, they could advertise it as a, I don't know, you can't really legally advertise it as a bedroom because there is no window, and without the window we don't have egress, and so we can't use that. I've got some recent changes we made, so I've got some outlets flying around. But here is a utility room, And we are looking at moving this washer dryer over probably into this corner along this wall. And so they want to vent up and out through the ceiling. And we're using a floor truss in this framing system. We'll get into that when we get into the framing. So what we've done, I'm going to go through the wall here. I'm going to come back out in here and just kind of walk you through so you can see that through this hallway to the right was the bedroom and the bath with the walk-in closet. To the left, coming down this hallway is the exercise room, and then we end up into a utility room and storage. And we'll move the washer dryer stackable over into this corner and ventilate out right behind the garage up above. Coming down here, there's some storage under the stair. And then we have a little ATV room over here with the second door that gets you into the other side of the house. So if we had come through this kitchenette and we'd gone this direction, behind the entertainment center, there is another bedroom that I had glimpsed into but didn't completely walk around. We want to have fan boxes in all the rooms, shelf and rod, and then back on out. And this is the door. Let me open that. That goes into the ATV room. And so this goes on through and into here. May want to reverse the hinge on that. Nope, I've got a jog in the wall, so the hinge is fine. And then this is showing grade in it for some reason. Probably just haven't flattened out the area. So consider there's no grade. This is a cellar, and this is underneath the porch. So the one thing, if I go straight up, I'm on the front porch now. So this porch needs to be sealed, and there's a product called Seal O Flex, and it's SEAL-O-FLEX. That's a wonderful product that I've used. So that'd be a recommendation for something I have experience with. This was all recessed, and I've got to get it pulled back out. And then, so this will have casing. I finished the windows up. Like I said, I wanted to get this out. This is a vaulted ceiling over the porch. And then let's take a quick look at, if we come up, the roof is got one area where I'm going to have some snow that bleeds onto the porch, but for the most part it's designed to be as much free of the need for gutter, even though it will be all guttered. But I like to try and design things so that they drain well. This unfortunately does drain to here, so we'll want to put a chain and a way to get moisture off the sidewalk and over into here. And then we have this all draining to the back, and that's why the roof is designed the way that it is. So once I come back around to this side, then we can take a look at the beginnings of the framing plan. And so what I've been working on here is to add the girder trusses in, and then this is the beam that's in the dining room, and so that's what's going to force us to possibly have to lower the ceiling in this area. And then I'll frame this out with rafters over this area. We'll have to do them deep enough that we get a good insulation, and it'd be nice to get 13 inches of blown in there. So I've got a 13-inch heel on the house in my truss design. So I will get these out and I will send them off to Casey Truss unless I hear otherwise to get the truss configured. Now there will be a change in the truss over the shop. So this room here is the garage. This room here is the shop. And in the shop, we are going to do an attic truss. So it will have a flat topped ceiling with trusses on either side and a nice open center portion. and then I'll have to put an attic access in that area. But for the most part, the one thing that we really want to make sure that the builders understand, this is that cellar, and I've got to work on the terrain to get that to even out. But I have to do the layout yet. But this is a 14-inch floor truss so that we can run mechanical and electrical plumbing in either direction with ease. So they're set up on 24-inch centers, I believe. I don't know. They're at 16-inch on center. They might be modeled at 24. I'll have to go into the settings and check. But I have to go through layout anyway because I haven't gotten the layout there. I usually start by framing the roof, and then I work my way down to follow the load path and frame on into the bottom. So that's how I'll work it out. But kind of wanted to give a quick overview so you can see how the house is coming together. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. But wanted to show you how things are coming along and how it's being built. That's all for now.